Trey like playing. She's like going, and the Trey's like,
wait. Oh, is that the one from this morning, Kev?
yeah.
Okay, I
It was
opened it. I didn't have a chance to watch it though.
What's up, dog? Oh. What's going on in here?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. We interrupt this program to bring you a news bulletin. Check it out.
Work Plus Mornings.
And we're back. And we really do have a news bulletin, I guess, this morning. Amanda, T, how are we doing?
Hey, just, new day, new news, big stuff, potentially, right?
I've decided dissociation is really the smart move in the current world.
The what? What'd you say?
Dissociation?
Dissociation is the smart move.
Yes.
That's its benefits.
In this, Anyway, we got breaking news. Let's check this out. This was just posted on Reddit not too long ago, and I'm being I don't know. I forgot who posted it on Blue Sky where I just lifted it from, but apparently PHiSH is going to be walking, which we've talked about. What did we give them a week before they said something, T?
Yeah.
And
well,
so
that was your deadline. You said we'll give them a week, and if it doesn't, and we both said, well, if it doesn't happen in a couple of days, even a week feels a little long for it to kind of settle. So you kind of need to get on it now and do something. And look at that. Maybe they have.
Right. Getting squirmy. Corin Capshaw. So now we know who their actual manager is. Let's get that guy on. But right. And I mean, they give it a caveat that he was only in there because he was sleeping with what's her name? Jizbel. But artists are getting squeamy. You don't want your brand associated with that, especially when you're PHiSH or even, Dave Matthews, my God, you figure he would have been the first one, honestly.
For sure, because he's a little more outspoken than pretty much anyone else, I feel like, in the jam band scene. I feel like, if anything, that jam band news fella would attach more to Dave than anything, because Dave is like exactly what he wants everyone to be like saying stuff and being out there and mixing his music with the politics and stuff. So yeah, to your point, that is pretty. I'm surprised Dave wasn't one of the first ones to plant a flag and walk.
Yeah. Well, there's some articles out there now, some other artists, because this company represents so many people. They have a gigantic roster. And I've seen some articles over the last couple of days where some artists said, it's not that easy to leave. We love the agent that we actually work with. We've never met Casey. We need the income that we generate from working with.
And the insurance. The one girl from Sleigh Bells has a kid and it's like, I need the insurance. If I leave, I don't have insurance for my kid. And it's not that easy to just.
So much collateral damage. You can ruin someone's career, over something stupid like this. And when you're PHiSH, you can walk away. You got a couple million in the bank. You're okay. But when you're someone with a kid who's out there touring 150 nights a year and getting your 2 drink tickets, and you have a kid at home who needs health insurance, you're like, I can't just walk.
Yeah.
I can't throw it all away because of this. I have to think of my family. I have to dissociate.
Right. Well, yeah, it's the only way. But so through all of this, I have learned the name Corin Capshaw, which I wasn't aware of before. I guess he's PHiSH's actual manager. And so,
it says Was rep them for touring, because we talked about this, T and I, about why is there red? Are they light or line, T?
Red light. Red light. Right. Corin Capshaw founded Red Light Management. So he's on the Red Light Management side of things. And Red Light Management is in charge of basically their touring, right? They're the touring side of thing. And Wasserman is in charge of the business side of things, right? So their agent at Wasserman was Michael Greisch is his name. Mm-hmm. And he was at Paradigm before, from 2010 to 2021. Wasserman acquired Paradigm in a big buyout in 21. Once that happened, he went to Wasserman and became a senior vice president. He still works with PHiSH on that side of things. And it feels like he just they were with Paradigm and then got swallowed up into this. And we're like, all right, we're just going to stay with him or whatever, and go to this. So they have two things. Like I said, Red Light is Corin Capshaw and that whole side of things. And they do touring, festivals, licensing, some branded entertainment and philanthropy for stuff. And then the business side of things, which is more like probably like the books and, I don't know how much into like merch type stuff and that kind of thing, but like the artist stuff with Wasserman is sort of that level of things. So it's weird that it's so that you would have to, you know what I mean? Like it's such a weird thing. Like, oh, I have an agent, but then I also have this agent, but then I also have that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a weird gray area. But
middlemen, a lot of middlemen with their hands out that want money, right? Like that's kind of.
Yeah.
Handful of gimme, mouthful of much obliged.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know what is going to happen with all of this, but I know that these days it will go pretty far with fans for any kind of official anything, right?
Exactly.
Well,
and Red Light is their business and Wasserman is their booking live performance and tours. So Wasserman's always been in charge of their touring, and then Red Light handles all the business side.
Wasserman, they can do that on their own.
They're going to drop dates. They're going to drop dates on Tuesday. They got to make sure people buy tickets and aren't like, man, I can't support a band that's out there with the Epstein files out there on the island. You got to come on in from the cold, PHiSH, and PHiSH were stepping up. Good for them. I applaud them because like we said, it isn't as easy as they could have said, we're figuring it out the day after, but they took their time, took a breath. And like, remember people giving Kreutzmann shit for not saying something about Bobby right away? Let the man have a few days to grieve and figure it out and to articulate, people, social media, it demands instant talking, and sometimes like the smartest people are the ones who are silent and take a chance to take it in instead of reacting immediately, coming from the guy who gets on and reacts immediately to shit.
But that's this world we live in, right? There's really not a lot of tolerance or patience for just taking that time, right? We have to have everything right away, whatever that means. Everybody's got a different take on that. Yeah, I think the next month or two is going to be real interesting because, it is complicated, but I would think that whatever this Wasserman group does for PHiSH or Dave or whoever, that's probably something they could figure out elsewhere. Maybe it would require a little bit of maneuvering.
Well, I think the agents are like, either you got to go Wasserman completely, or we're going to all leave and form our own company. And I think PHiSH would stick with their manager. Obviously, they love, this guy.
They've been with them for a long time, I think now, right? Red Light?
Forever. And they're an actual independent. They are as much as you can be independent. Think independent these days means you aren't owned by Live Nation, but that's another story.
But it is true. They have remained fiercely independent compared to so many other groups. They had sold a minority stake to a music holdings group, I think in 22 or 23, but they have done a good job, I think, overall with that, with trying to stay independent.
Right. Chappelle Roan, first person that I saw, said something that she was out. Bethany Constantino from Best Coast. She said that he needed to step down. What were some of the other ones? Who was the woman with the healthcare concerns?
That was the one from Sleigh Bells.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The woman from Sleigh Bells.
I had her name. What was
Wednesday said that they were no longer going to do it, which is MJ Lenderman. He plays with him. If you haven't heard the song Townies, find it. It is a fantastic little song there.
Yeah. Oh, and that was Alexis Krauss, and that was a new band for me. I hadn't heard of them, but yeah, she's the one who said, "I wish I could burn it all down and boycott." Sure, but that she can't afford to. But she's talking. She's sharing how she feels.
Right, and I think it's important to have that side of things because there's always two sides to everything, right? And like we often like want to come out and be like, oh my God, make a stand, do your thing. Like, how can you not blah, blah, blah. But then you have to understand that there's, yes.
I never want anybody to make a stand. I don't want to know, man. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Fish. I don't want to know that Trey's a Republican.
Do we know that? Did I miss that?
I think Trey's a Republican. It's just something.
That's a Kevin theory.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm fascinated. All right, we might need to come back to that.
He's got 80 million in the bank. Come on. When you have 80 million in the bank, you start to think Republican.
It's likelier.
Ice Cube. Look at Ice Cube.
Well, we do know that when there is a certain level of income or wealth reached, some of those other lines start to blur.
Right. Look at Snoop. Snoop's all
back
in.
to Wasserman.
Hey, so we were talking also about, that's the music side, but flip that to the sports side. Hey, Olympic committee dude, he's got a lot of skin in that game too, right? And that reaction, I think, at least publicly, has been very different.
I bet he gets away with the Olympic and doesn't leave.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's such a hard thing because the work he's done on the LA Olympic stuff, he's a hell of a business guy. Like it's good, right? Like it is a good thing like that. But then the other side of it is he's a terrible person. Like there's this, it's such a hard.
He was hanging out with terrible people, and I mean, people's sex lives are their sex lives,
Well, I think the thing is, Kevin, in the LA committee looked at specifically the Epstein thing, right? And they were like, okay, he went on.
It was two consenting adults, but between a dirtbag woman who was trafficking children and
right, but he never went to the island. He never did any of that. He went on one humanitarian trip with Epstein somewhere, and that was it. And that's what they looked into and found there was no other involvement with Epstein himself. Now, the Maxwell emails had already come out, and he's already been trashed for those, so that was nothing new. So they already knew that. They'd already gone through all of that, and we're like, okay, that's in the past. We already know about that. The Epstein thing is so minor. He was on a plane and went to a humanitarian thing. Okay, he knew him. He didn't like hang out and do all this stuff. So to take away the job he's done on the LA committee and all of this stuff, like they only looked at that one small thing and not the overall.
And they were consenting adults. Let me say, when I said about sex lives, they were consenting adults. If it's two people who say, yes, we want to do this, that's the thing. But the LA, it's an image thing at this point. Like
right. That's all it is. Right. It's a PR image thing. And you're hoping because of the way the news cycle goes, it'll blow over quickly as soon as like the next person, big name comes out.
But it's going to keep coming up. PHiSH now dropping. Who's the next artist? Every day an artist is going to drop. So it isn't going to go anywhere.
But you don't really hear as much about the Olympic thing inside of all of that. It's more like, again, it's kind of separated into the music side,
magazines, right?
And then this other side.
Sports.
Right. Oh, I got Bungle, Mr. E, and Savvy over here on volume. Go USA Hockey. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Both the women and the men are awesome. Mr. Bungle would rather talk sports, and I'm not a big sports guy.
Well, and you know what?
My music. Come on,
There's
man.
always great stories that come out of the Olympics too, which is great. I love that.
But I hope this is a fascinating story. It's one to keep an eye on and to keep watching who drops him and see what happens with Dave if Dave does follow suit, especially if PHiSH leaves. I feel like PHiSH leaving could be a bigger issue with
crack in the dam.
Right, because I think they would be. I mean, yes, Chapel Rowan and stuff is huge in the pop, but I feel like PHiSH leaving on top of all of that starts to be bigger acts, right? And you're not just getting some of the indie label people and some of the indie bands and medium-sized names. You're getting
Rowan won a Grammy and PHiSH did not, so that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, and hey, I mean, PHiSH isn't in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame either, man, right? Like Dave Matthews is.
Dave Matthews.
Yeah, what's up with that? I think we need to investigate that.
Yeah, what is up with Dave? We all go troll him on social media. Statement.
Like, didn't I leave this behind me 25 years ago? You people are still out there,
right?
All right, let's real quick before we get into the rest of the stories. Next Tuesday, we're gonna have Makita on. Why is that not the right picture? There we go. All right. We're going to do PHiSH Fall 2013. Me, Makita, and T. We're going to go through all 12 shows. It includes a Halloween show, so we'll get a 3-setter in there. Then on Wednesday night, join us for a very special live because I will be 55 that evening. So
It's that didn't this happen a few? Wasn't it when we got you
the first? It was the second episode of Live. You got Eddie Spaghetti. Yes, we have to dig that up. We'll have to run the Eddie Spaghetti.
We do. We have to bring that up. This is like, but this is the second time now that it's fallen on your birthday.
That's weird, huh? Because we had a leap year, I guess, and it's been 6 years. So yeah, that makes sense.
That's funny. You know, the first lot we ever did was my birthday because we had remember the guy that played the PHiSH songs?
Who was our first guest?
Harley.
No, that was Liv. She was the first guest on Liv.
I thought it was the lot.
No, the first guest on the lot was Andy Michaels.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Really? Wow. Auspicious beginnings. Love that.
Andy out there building apps, trying to get jumped to the next level. I keep telling him, call me. I got a show for you, man. I'll put you on the map. I really think we should get Andy Michaels to do Andy Michaels Live, Wook Plus team up, and we just stream him in the studio on Saturday nights when he does the Jump Show.
That'd be great. I love his show.
And he just can't pick his nose or anything, you know. That's the beautiful thing about radio.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to get used to just be a little more aware, you know.
Right, aware of the camera. So, you know, the Eagles are huge. And they figured that there was an open weekend in April before this other band played, and they were going to add 2 more shows. And Don Henley says, this is it. We are not touring anymore. So he was on CBS Sunday morning. He said it will probably be it, but, you know.
Never say never.
If the check clears. Because he wants to spend more time with his family and growing vegetables. So one of the guys got hauled off stage one night and taken to somewhere, I think. Timothy Schmidt, maybe?
You mean like medical reasons?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about
one of the Sphere shows?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Let me see. I might be making that shit up.
I mean, it sounds...
recent reports... oh, my God. They gave me bald eagles. Taken to the hospital. Nice. Good for you, AI.
Good for you, AI.
The dude would be proud. Basically, I'd say Joe Walsh missed his first show with the band in 50 years at the Sphere on January 24th due to a bad case of the flu. Is how they frame it. First show he missed since 1975. And then a separate incident in February 2025, Don Felder was rushed off stage. Oh, he wasn't playing with them. He was on a cruise ship due to dehydration. So he was drunk. All right. I get it. Dehydration is code word for I drank too much.
Right.
Yes, I do tend to think that. Actually.
1 water for every drink, kids. That's advice from Uncle Kev there. So anyway, they're playing the 20th, 21st of this month and the 27th, 28th. And then they go all the weekends in March, and May 2nd, they're playing Jazz and Heritage Festival. So I guess the Jazz and Heritage Festival will be the last show. Yeah. It's 2 weeks after the April show. So interesting.
It is interesting. You think it'll really be
not an Eagles fan, but the Hotel California, find a video of it from the Sphere. Really cool. It's really cool. It's what you would expect. And also the Life in the Fast Lane one is neat because I think those songs are cinematic in their lyrics and their scope, so it lends itself to that.
Well,
they just never do anything for me. Like I just have such a dislike of, especially since my favorite Eagle, Glenn Fry, is no longer around.
Oh, Joe Walsh is the best, man. Come on. Come on.
I don't have much, honestly, to add to that conversation. I'll be totally
honest. Good.
I'm familiar enough, but you know,
good.
I mean, I was interested when they did the Sphere thing. I really had never thought that would be a fit. It just hadn't occurred to me, so that kind of got me curious a little bit.
Yeah, they Don Henley said something nice about Bobby, how they were completely different, but how much he respected what he did. So Our boy Sturgill Simpson. Let me ask you, man. I don't think we've ever talked about Sturgill. Where do you fall on the Sturgill spectrum?
I think that he's an interesting one because he has this ability to really be a crossover act in a unique kind of way, and I respect that about him. Like what he did at the shows, I guess it was last August, right? The 60th shows, people loved his set. I mean, that one I think I heard more about from people who were there than anybody else, and I thought that was great.
And he ripped on Morning Dew. Wasn't he out there on Morning Dew?
Yeah, I think so.
Out. That's what he came out for.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I absolutely love him. He's putting out a new album with his band, The Dark Clouds, and it's called Mutiny After Midnight. I guess the last album was Johnny Blue Skies for Passage du Désir. I murdered that. But
and you can't stream it, huh?
Right. Yes, that's what. Yes, I was going to show this. Look at this thing. Oh, come on! I got to remember to remove the other one. It's only available on vinyl, CD, and cassette.
And cassette, cool. Well, he had promised that, right? Or he had said something about that he was only going to release a couple studio albums under his own alias. Like he had kind of foreshadowed some of this, I think, a little bit some years ago.
I love it. I love it. The only way we're ever going to take music back is to take music back and things like this. And he may take a hit. He might not sell as many, but who's to say that, why don't we go old school and the radio starts playing the song and then people actually go buy the physical media because they like the song that much. And it's actually worth it to spend your $9 on that instead of a streaming service. Even though all of a sudden you're Team Sturgill and you've invested your $9 for the month into this guy's song. But, I guess CDs are probably like 25 now, or albums. I'm showing my age.
Well, I think it's super cool. I was reading a little bit of the press release that it sounds like he wrote the songs and the lyrics pretty much in the moment.
Right.
It was something that came together as they were in the studio. And I know they've been on the road a ton over the last year.
Inspired, right? Driven by groove and influenced by records like Marvin Gaye's In Our Lifetime. So he's going the blue-eyed, I guess you'd call it blue-eyed soul because he's a white guy. Root.
I love the name of the album, though. I think that's such a great name. It's awesome. Such a huge Sturgill fan. I can't wait to hear it, and I can't wait for the tour that hopefully is going to happen around it because him live is exceptional. So it's awesome.
Yes, and there was an awesome quote about how, he's been dealing with the music industry for so long now. So at this point, the only thing that he wants to do is be a pirate because that's what he's best at. It was a really funky quote. I think I kind of just butchered it a little bit, but basically saying, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm going to do the things I do.
The last album was just Johnny Blue Skies. This time he named the band The Dark Clouds, which I like.
Oh yeah.
I'm really hoping that the thing is thematically all connected because he's an artist who can do that instead of 10 songs. You know what I'm saying? That things come back. You're exploring the same themes because the most satisfying albums to me are like that. That's why Dark Side resonates. Dark Side of the Moon. It's thematically consistent. It takes you on a journey from one place to another and sets you down gently on the moon. I guess the dark side of the
was it Surprise Chef from Melbourne was the first time I'd ever heard a band refer to themselves as cinematic something, cinematic soul, and they kind of described it as just this big comprehensive sound. And I think of that sometimes now, even in relation to albums.
Right. Yeah, that was weird. We had to do that late and he was earlier.
They're great though, and I think that description is a really cool one because it does kind of tell you whatever's happening, they're trying to connect it all together.
He said the best part of not having a singer was not having a singer, which I love.
That's right. Yeah, he was pretty clear about that.
When I talked to the guy from Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, he was in Perth, and I had to get up at 4 a.m. East Coast time to do that because it was 12 hours different Perth from here, wherever Perth is.
Australia, maybe. That's crazy.
Where are you guys on KISS?
Where am I? Not really anywhere.
I could see that. I have a complicated relationship. When I was in 4th grade, instead of going out to recess, me and this other guy would listen to KISS records and pretend we were KISS and just play air guitar with the yardsticks. And the teachers let us do this unsupervised in the school while everyone else was outside. But I had no idea what any of this love gun meant. I thought he had a gun that made people love each other. I had no idea. And then when I got to be in like 6th grade, I realized how dumb KISS was. And then as I've gone through my whole life, I've realized how fucked up they are in their views and just, I don't know.
The views, yeah. Well, it's like you said before, sometimes you just don't want to know.
I had a card. I had a KISS Army card. I wish I could find that thing.
It's like you just want to enjoy their music and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, they were just honored, right, at the most recent Kennedy Center honors.
Yeah.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they had no one else.
Yeah.
No one else would go. Everyone else has quit. They're closing the place down, tearing it down.
Yeah. And you know what? And I should say, I think for Gene especially, it is probably really complicated because he's made statements on various sides of things, over time. But I did kind of take a double take at that.
The takeaway from Gene Simmons is don't ever do a fucking reality TV show. What the hell are you thinking? Because you're going to say dumb shit. You're going to let your guard down. I mean, when you're out there being Gene Simmons, you have to, for lack of a better term, keep your mask on, Yeah. But no, not Gene. He says hip hop isn't rock and roll. It doesn't speak my language, and that it comes from the ghetto.
Yes. And then he had to clarify that. Hold on. I was just talking about the genre. That's it.
Oh my God. Go there, Gene. Go ahead. All right. So he said Grandmaster Flash is who he called out being in there instead of Iron Maiden, which I can appreciate that Iron Maiden should be there, but
not
I did a whole series of this, which we'll probably try to do. Like, what was it called? Do they belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And we went through each one and we each took a side, whether we believed it or not. And one of the hip hop arguments always was it isn't rock and roll. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame says that they interpret rock and roll as a broader cultural spirit, I think is what they say on their website, rather than a musical style. So,
yes, it's a specific sound.
Right.
Or lineage and spirit. That is a major debate.
Right. And the first two, it isn't rock and roll and doesn't speak my language. Fair enough. Shut your mouth. But you throw in the third statement.
I mean, both that all evolved from R&B, from gospel, from jazz. Like the roots you could trace back to pretty similar places.
Right. He said something about why isn't there a hip hop Hall of Fame that has rock bands in it? And I'm like, dude, just here's a shovel. Why don't you dig yourself a bigger hole there, man?
Oh boy.
But anyway, Bungle says he dug our Who Should Be In. That was a fun series. We'll have to do that again when it comes out again because that was fun debating back and forth. Yeah,
it's gotta be. So the number of hip hop artists in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, from what I found, it's Grandmaster Flash, like we mentioned, Beastie Boys, which really, their first 2 albums are hip hop. I mean, they always rapped, but by Check Your Head, they were playing their own instruments. I mean, Public Enemy, they were cultural, they were rock and roll. Come on, listen to that music. It was a wall of sound. NWA, All Attitude, Tupac, B.I.G., Jay-Z, Eminem, and Missy Elliott. I think they all deserve to be in there.
Those are huge names. I just saw one of my favorite Grandmaster Flash videos from early days where he's just standing in front of his turntable and he's explaining how he came up with the idea that hip hop and vocals needed to be a part of what he was doing. And he was talking about how when he'd be out there in parks or whatever doing his thing, he would spend all this time to, edit down the tracks and have 30, 40. There were no vocals and people would just not pay attention and there'd be all this stuff going on around him. And it was just to keep people's attention span focused. But he's like, well, once we did that, and he's talking about it like it's no big deal. But I mean, he was literally figuring out kind of the formula for a lot of things that happened after that.
Isn't that what David Byrne, when the what's that album? Stop Making Sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's the question and answer thing inside of it. And one of the things that he says is they ask him, why do songs have lyrics? And he says, because to get people to listen to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Is the gist of his answer, which is, I guess, the exact same thing that Grandmaster Flash is saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and there's some really cool production philosophies that actually, that through line even between that album and hip hop, which is really cool. It is connected. It's hard to really say one is only this and one's only that.
Right. That was not supposed to come up yet. All right. So there we are. Any thoughts on that, T? Or
I mean, we talked about it before with the Rock Hall of Fame stuff when we were doing it, and how the line between what music and even with the songwriting too, right? Like what was constituting songwriting and what was constituting like rock and roll and what deserves like Hall of Fame. And I don't know, it's music. Like I think the more appropriate thing for it would be just call it like the Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but you can't do that. But rock and roll is just, I really do believe rock and roll is an attitude. I mean, that's how it all started. It was, it was Brando. What are you rebelling against?
Like last year when we discussed those bands going in, like what was it, Mana?
Yeah, Mana, yeah. Huge. Everywhere else in the world, everyone knows who Mana is. In America, we're like, is that Bad Bunny? What the hell's he saying over there?
Right. And I mean, and I told you once we started talking about them, like I was getting fed all kinds of like stuff on them on Instagram. And then like they were playing out here at the Honda Center and I got like targeted for tickets and stuff. And I was like, Kev, like suddenly I'm a Mana fan because we were talking about it. And my phone was listening. And like, I've never been induced into so much Mana in my life. It was crazy. But yeah.
But wait, so that is a good question though. So rock and roll without the attitude, is that what, adult contemporary?
Yes, but Air Supply. It's Air Supply. You don't get a blowjob. There is no blowjob involved with this at all. America is rock and roll without the attitude. Or who was that? Seals and Croft. Summer breeze.
Yacht Rock.
Michael McDonald.
Yeah.
Well, I like Michael McDonald.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm in my Michael McDonald phase. I have the gray hair. I just sit in the corner and mumble to myself.
That's awesome.
Last night I watched the Shine Sweet Freedom video, from that movie he did with Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. And they're in the video like Dan. Like I haven't seen that video in years. And watching it last night, you're just like, oh my God, this is one excruciatingly painful to watch now, but also hilarious and so dated in the moment of the time. And all I could think of was between the three of them, how much coke they must have been doing too in that video. Like just outrageous.
Piles.
Scarface
territory.
Oh my God.
All right. Let's do this.
The first thing you should bring is tickets.
Bring a tarp?
Bring a ground cover because it gets pretty wet.
Money, yeah, lots of money.
There you go. All right, this is huge. Big.
Mountains, yes, wow, Kansas. Mountains of cocaine. Exactly.
All right, did it do it? All right, there we go. All right, come one, come all. The Billy Strings Festival.
Mm-hmm.
In Iona, Michigan. I guess that's where he grew up. The Iona Fairgrounds. 2 nights, Green Sky, Leftover, Sierra Hall. Wow.
I love the theme of it. Feels very circusy, right? Like it just feels like the magnanimous Billy Strings, like the whole art. Like it's hopefully going to be like one of those sort of freak show carnival type things as a theme. That's really cool. I love it.
As much as people like accuse Goose of like copying PHiSH's shit all the time, Billy Strings, I feel like, doesn't cop it, but he embraces it. He's like, I'm going next level. If I'm going to do this, I am going to go next level with it. And I love it. I love it. Look, Pyramid Scheme Pinball and Metal Tent.
Right?
For all you people who need to cleanse your palate.
Exactly. I think that's great. I love that. I think that's so rad.
Passes sold out. You can only get single days, and you can buy pits or 2 days. But the camping packages, I guess, are sold out.
I mean, the prices are not ridiculous at all, especially for where we're at today. And he had done renewal right in Buena Vista out here in Colorado. Kind of infamously, poor guy had to miss his own festival because his baby was being born, right? So he wasn't there for the last one. And I know a lot of people were curious about whether or not he would want to keep doing that in Colorado, because it's a little out there, production wise, getting stuff that far. So this feels like a good fit. I got it for a bunch of reasons for him.
Right. I like this. Kids under 5, no ticket. I always feel bad for people who have a 2-year-old and want to go to a show. I know that's a whole other debate. I am kids with you. You protect their ears. You take them with you. My kids
too. Like it's nice.
Music. I took them to see PHiSH. They can't stand PHiSH. I took them to see Dead and Company. They were more into that. And I took my oldest to see Dead and Company again. She got down to the front row. She was like, yes, I am in. I am doing this. So I am pro doing that. But anyway.
I do like this. Yeah. I think there's you could tell this is being put together, I think, with some thought around it.
Right. Local only tickets. They are sold out, but 20-mile radius of the venue.
I love that. I wish we saw that more often.
Right? I love it. Good for him. All right. Oh, will there be bathrooms and showers in the RV area? Yes.
Yeah.
The question is, will there be air-conditioned bathrooms? That's what we want. Actually, though, August in Michigan probably isn't that hot, is it? I mean, not compared to like the East Coast or something.
Probably not.
I mean, I would still think you probably still get the humidity in some of those shower, like, the warmth and stuff. So, yeah, but I'm sure it's a little bit better than mid-July or like early July and stuff. So,
I mean, and let's just remember this guy, he's 33 years old. It's really easy for me to forget because I think of him absolutely in line in every way with the greats, right? Absolutely. And so it's stuff like this. I'm like, damn. 33, his band's won a bunch of Grammys, and to still take the time and kind of have some of those details, and whoever he's working with, clearly they got the message. Right. So I'll be curious to see. How
that's what kills me about Cameron from Geese. Dude's 22.
That's great.
22. Imagine in 20 years when he's 42. What he'll have done. Hopefully a lot more. I'm not trying to jinx your brother. Not trying to jinx you.
Kev, Mr. E says you're looking good and sounding better too. He's glad you made it through whatever you went through. See, you're walking, you're slimming down, you're looking more healthy. It's the walking.
I am. I'm gonna go out on I know I said this the other night, but Thursday I get to go to Chipperelli's.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Italian
birthday
spot.
Dinner.
I mean, just simple. They make their own pasta. I just get the lasagna. It's not like some fancy, New York thing where they light your food on fire or something.
Right.
I love it.
If you're in Eau Claire, Wisconsin at the end of July, there's a festival coming up called the Eau Claire's Festival. Great name.
Great name.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. I thought you were going to say, is he related to Bob Dylan? Bob Dylan?
Bon Dylan. It says Bon Dylan.
Bon Dylan?
I'm confused now.
Is it Bon Iver?
Bon Iver.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's Bon Iver doing Dylan tunes. All right. Amy Mann is the other person that I recognize. Bunch of other bands. John Cleary, he was on there. I believe so. They have a writer in residence there. It's interesting. We need to dig into that a little more, too.
Oh, okay. Bon Dylan. Yeah, so they're right. They're doing a play. They're doing a play
I
on
thought
words.
it was Bob Dylan, and I got excited. I needed to read more before I went live. I needed something else for the festival thing. Since we were doing the Billy Strings, I needed a second thing there.
Another thing to back it up.
John Cleary, you know.
Love John Cleary. I got to see John Cleary play with Bonnie Raitt at the festival one year. He was her keyboard player forever. And then he played with the Doobie Brothers, I believe, the same day because he was sitting in because whoever their keyboard player at the time was no longer existed. Doobie Brothers are going to be another one of those Ship of Theseus bands like Foreigner, where there's only one original member of Chicago left, T. So we're waiting for them.
That's right. Yep.
Journey. Well, Journey still has the two guys who hate each other. Neither one of them will ever leave. They're like, I'm not going to be the last to leave. Fuck you.
They are both just like eternal middle finger.
Oh man, Neil Schoen. Guy's such a great guitar player. That Santana 3 album, he was like 16. Oh my God, probably the best thing Santana ever did. Anyway, you guys got anything else?
Yeah, I do have a follow-up. I think we had talked about this last week, maybe, about Anna's archive. And I get really fascinated with some of these stories, you know. So just a quick recap. Anna's archive is facing a 13 trillion with a T dollar lawsuit. I mean, come on. For the work that they have done scraping what they say is over 99% of all of the tracks on Spotify. And late last year, this lawsuit hit. There's just incredible amounts of money connected to it. But even so, just a day or two ago, people on social media noticed that there were some files, apparently almost 3 million files released by Anna's archive, which they consider themselves a shadow digital library. So that's kind of how they would, I think, describe themselves. So apparently it's about 6.5 terabytes of data, which is still a very, very small amount overall of the 300 terabyte scrape.
Is it a torrent? Is it a torrent thing?
Yeah, it is. So they said they scraped about 86 million tracks, which they say is basically almost everything on Spotify.
Wow.
Right,
So-
backing up Spotify. Let's see what this says. I'm gonna have the cops knocking on my door in a minute.
FBI.
That's right. We're streaming this live. We got you.
We've been waiting for the chance. All right, I'm not gonna read this, but AI, tell me what this says. They back up Spotify metadata and music files. Okay, wow, that's fantastic.
Right, exactly. So this, you know, alongside major labels, they have this gigantic lawsuit. And the operators of this library, I think, are still relatively unknown, which the whole thing is just very intriguing to me.
Are we on there, Amanda?
On Spotify? Are we part of the drop?
Are we part of Anna's archive if they've done 96% of this stuff?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to see. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of stuff in there that covers a lot of bases.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I'm part of Anna's archive.
That's right.
I guess they aren't scraping YouTube, so they don't know we exist too.
Yeah. So you know, it's just this. It's going to be part of.
Where do you come up with 13 trillion? Who has $13 trillion besides like 6 people?
Well, clearly a scare tactic, right? And so in 2024, Spotify made $10 billion in payments to the music industry. So apparently that calculation comes from the legal maximum statutory damages of $150,000 for each infringed work. So I think that's how they said they calculated it or something like that.
Fascinating.
I know, right? Just when you hear that amount of money and the players that are involved and they're like, screw you, we're still going to pop this stuff up there because we have it. Like I'm curious how this works.
Well, I mean, if someone sued me for $13 trillion and they sold everything I had, they might get like $5,000. And what are they going to do? Throw me in jail? Throw me in jail, whatever. At least I get 3 hot meals a day.
And a bed. Well,
and
not
a
really.
Bed. 3 hots and a cot, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
And a workout area. Some weights.
Put me in solitaire. I'm good with solitaire. I can just sit there and pretend I'm Buddha. You know?
There and write poetry in your cell.
Anyway, he said that they'll never make owing money illegal because all the corrupt politicians over in Washington all owe people tons of money.
Everybody does. That's what's going on. I'm like, what do they all know? Exactly. But yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen here, but that lawsuit is definitely still outstanding and it's new. So, this stuff maybe takes a while, but I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be prosecuted.
Well, I know you're going to be watching and letting us know.
You betcha.
So much going on. So remember, we got Monday, it's me and T over here on Volume. On Tuesday night, we got Makita coming on for the PHiSH Fall 2013. Wednesday, we got a regular show. I guess we're going to dig up the Eddie Spaghetti thing. You guys paid him $50 or whatever for it.
That's right. It's your birthday gift.
Yeah, that guy. I got to interview him once, and I so fanboyed out. It was like one of the worst interviews I ever did. I was like, and you're like really cool, dude.
and don't forget, actually, tonight on Volume, it is a pay show, but it's only $14 or $20 for both nights. But I will be directing
Daniel D.
The Daniel Donato live stream from the Troubadour tonight on Volume and tomorrow night on Volume, which is going to be rad. So if you're around and need to listen to good music, check it out. It's going to be fun.
There you go. All right, guys.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Good seeing you guys.
All right.
And,
thank you.
Enjoy the weekend.
See you next Friday.
See you next week.
What's up, dog?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.